There's a lot of misconceptions that hold people back before deciding to take up boxing. I've been boxing just over a year now, and today I want to erase some of these misconceptions. So the first thing I wish I knew was how enjoyable the sport actually is.
Son, you know, once you start, there's no going back.
Before entering a boxing gym, it feels like a huge step, a huge mental barrier you just have to break past and commit to trying one session. You'll be surprised how fun and addictive it actually is. I've been more fulfilled than ever boxing, getting real life, healthy dopamine. And once this healthy addiction begins, so does the rest of your life. You begin to mold your life to becoming the best boxer you can be, including diet, cardio and general positive habits. And for me personally, I've quit nicotine and started to drink a lot less to help me become the best boxer I can. But before you start, here's an important step I recommend. Drop the ego, it'll only hold you back. You don't start anything and expect to be the best. You have to drop your ego and be able to handle the constructive criticism. Also becoming a sponge to the information from coaches and more experienced boxers. There's so much to learn when starting boxing, and arrogance will only hold you back. I used to box as someone who got frustrated when the coach was giving him advice, which was a big hindrance and the reason I've progressed quicker than him, as I was able to handle the constructive criticism. So the third thing I wish I knew is stepping into the ring to fight is so different to sparring. Fighting is 100%. This is you going to war with your opponent. Both sides are trying to hurt one another. And on the other hand, sparring is usually with teammates. And the aim is to learn and not to hurt them. Therefore, sparring is a lot less intense. So make sure to be patient before taking your first fight. Don't rush the process, as you could be put off by a bad experience. Someone who used to box at my club signed up for a fight on 2 weeks' notice. Apparently got COVID and never shown up again. And once again, ego could have taken over his confidence to make a stupid decision to take a fight on so early. And on the other hand, don't do the opposite. I have a friend who had been boxing a couple years and had never fought and barely sparred, and that slowed his growth significantly. He was just training boxing pad work and bags, which is still good, but remember, the bag doesn't hit back, and in a fight your opponent will fight back. Nevertheless, I sparred with that friend not long ago, and I was way more composed and the better fighter, even though he had been fighting much longer than me, due to me sparring more and actually taking on my first fight. Boxing but not sparring is like trying to run without legs, which leads us on to the next point. Getting hit really isn't that bad. Yes, getting hit isn't natural, but once you've been hit multiple times in sparring, you get used to it. It becomes second nature. Start off by light sparring and getting in as many rounds as you can. You'll become more comfortable with being punched, and you'll learn how to handle it better. My biggest tip on getting punched is to take it like a champ. Reset your mind and guard and go back into fight mode instead of flight mode straight away. The other day I got rocked so hard in sparring, but because I've sparred so much, I'm used to it and was able to reset and flip the pressure back onto my opponent, which brings us on to the final point. Consistency beats anything. When I first started boxing, a few months into it, I sparred a lad from a different gym, and he was a lot better than me and I got destroyed. This really demotivated me and I took a break from boxing for a couple months, and this decision really made me miss boxing, and I decided to start again. But this made me think how much better I would be now if I didn't have that 3 months off. So instead of making the same mistake I did if you start boxing, just keep on turning up every session, getting out your comfort zone, and I'll guarantee you'll improve. And you will get beaten in sparring, lose fights, but remember, it's all part of the journey. Carry on turning up, and remember, you never lose, you learn. So yeah, now you know what I wish I knew before starting boxing. Why not watch my whole boxing journey?